Welcome! In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create your own Andy Warhol style pop art poster. I'm Di the IT guy and I'm here to show you how. I've opened the image I'm going to be using for this tutorial, so let's make a start. Switch the palette back to the default black and white setting by clicking here. Now I'm going to create a second layer. To do this, hold down the Control key, then type J. This has duplicated the background layer. Double click on the text to rename it. I'll call it Photo. Now I'll hide that and click on Background to make it active. Now I want to remove all of the background layer. Hold down the Control key and then type A to select the entire image. Now hold down the Control key and type X to delete it. This leaves me with my photo over a white background. Now I'm going to crop the image back to the head area only. So click here to select the crop tool. Now start pulling in the edges to where you need them. I'll begin with the top. Now the right. Sort out the left. And bring up the bottom edge. Move this a touch more. Double click inside the crop boundary to complete. Now's a good time to save your work. Save as, I'm going to call this Pop Art. Save. OK. OK, now I'm going to remove this unwanted background area. To do this, you could use the eraser tool or the pen tool. If you're not sure about the pen tool, take a look at my pen tool explained tutorial. Choose lasso. I'm not too bothered about the edge quality for this artwork. Set the feather to 1 just to avoid jagged edges. Click and hold the left mouse button unless you're using a tablet. Gently work around, keeping reasonably close to the hair outline. I'll just choose some random points around the neckline to avoid any straight lines. With the selection done, click on Select and choose Inverse. The area I want to remove is now selected. Hold down the Control key and type X. With the background now removed, I want to convert the image to black and white. To do this, click on Image, then Adjustments and choose Desaturate. Now we need to turn this into a high contrast image, so I'm going to keep it simple and use the contrast adjustment. Click Image, Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast. Just push the contrast up to 100. I'll repeat that. Brightness, contrast, push it up to 100. Still needs more. I think I'll go just once more. OK, I'll leave it at that for now and move on to the filter gallery. Click on Filter, then Filter Gallery. The cutout filter is the tool for this job. It's already selected. This filter is controlled by these 3 sliders. If I increase the number of levels, you can see the result in the preview panel. I'll set the levels to 3. Now set the edge simplicity. The higher the number, the less detail you can see. I'll leave this at 3 as well. And finally, edge fidelity, which I'll set to 1. I'm happy with that. Click on OK. I think I'll up the contrast once more. Image, adjustments, contrast. Before I move on, I want to check the cutout. Switch the background off, zoom in a touch. I can see any areas that still need to be cut out. I'll use the wand tool to select the areas that need to be removed. As I work my way through them, I'll hold down the Control key and type X to delete. With those cleared, time to move on. There are one or two areas of grey left, but I think they'll add to the artwork. So I'll save this and move on to the repetition canvas. So now I need a new canvas. Click File, then select New. Set units to millimeters. I'm going to use an A3 size canvas. These are 297 wide by 420 millimeters high. You will also need a 3mm bleed for printing purposes. If you're not sure what this is, Google image bleed. The actual canvas size will be 6mm wider each way. Set resolution to 300 and the colour mode to CMYK colour. OK. The new canvas needs to be divided up ready for the pop art images. I'm going to divide it into 3 columns and 4 rows. First I'll set the left hand side bleed edge to 3mm. Plus 2 more guides in rough positions to form the columns. Repeat this for the rows. This time I'll place 3 guides. Now I have to make their placement accurate. So zoom in and you can see the rulers showing finer measurements. The canvas edges should be 3mm each. The columns need to be 99mm each. At this point I'll skip the video forward, as I'm sure you get the idea. With the guide set out, I'll just go to View, lock the guides, I'll save it, save as, I'll call it Pop Art 2. Save. Switch back to the original artwork. Check that photo is the current layer. Hold down the Control key and type A, then hold down the Control key and type C. Switch back to Pop Art 2. Hold down the Control key and type V. And now have a new layer, which I'll call photo number 1. Drag the figure into the required position. Click Edit, Transform, Scale. Press and hold the Shift key while dragging one of the corner handles out to the new size. Double click, and I think I'll just nudge that around a little. Now we need to create a group. Click on the Create Group icon. Click and drag layer Photo 01 into the new group slot. Now I'm going to create a background for the image by drawing a rectangle. Before that, click View, then Snap to and check that Guides is ticked. The rectangle will be filled with the current colour, which is black. Not much good behind a black image. Click on the foreground colour to bring up the colour picker. I'll just pick a shade of green. OK. Now select the rectangular shape tool. I can now drag a rectangle out between these guides, which it snaps to. It's been drawn above the image, so I just drag it down one slot in the Layers menu. That's the first tile in the pop art image. Before I go any further, I can see that there are some odd spots left on the image. These have to be cleaned up now, as I'm going to replicate this across the entire sheet. So I'll zoom in and use the Wand tool to select and cut the offending areas. Oops, make it the current layer. Control X, let's take a look. OK, I'll take this out. Control X, Control X, Control X. Some more in there. No, Control D on that, I'm not sure about that one. I'll paint some of these areas black. I'll just finish with this area of the forehead. Fit screen. Now activate Group 1 in the Layers panel. Using the Alt key and the Move tool, I can now drag out a copy of the group, which again snaps to the guides. I'll just repeat that. And again. I'll skip forward to the next operation. With that done, you can now see the bleed around the sheet. The background of each tile adjacent this has to be extended into it. I'll begin with rectangle 1 in copy 11, which is here. So choose Edit, Transform, Scale. I can now click and drag these handles out to the sheet edge. I have to work my way around the edge to do this. So choose the next rectangle, then Edit, Transform, Scale. Drag the edge out, then double click. Keep repeating this until you have all the bleed area covered. I'll skip the video forward now. Okay, with that done, I can now start applying the colours to each tile. I've downloaded a copy of Andy Warhol's Che Guevara to use as a colour guide. Starting top left, pick the current colour, pick the background, switch the palette around, select the face, switch back to Pop-Art 2, starting top left again, zoom in, select the wand tool, select the face, select the paint bucket and fill the face area. Ctrl and D to deselect. Select the rectangle. Now invert the palette. Click to fill. Click OK to rasterize. And fill. Switch back to the Warhol and pick the colour for the hair. Back to my pop art. Wand tool, then select the hair, making sure that photo 01 is the active layer. Fill with new colour. That's the first tile completed. I'll skip the video forward now. After a little more work and using the Che Guevara for colour choices, here's the final work. Printed and framed, it looks great. As ever, thank you for watching this tutorial. For me it's been a pleasure. See you soon.